Hey folks, how you guys doing? This is Will Patterson here at Loose Out. I got my co-host, Dynamite Dave Wolochek with us here, folks. Man, I tell you what, boy, they must have been drinking a few cocktails today before the show.
Maybe
Yeah,
working on grandma's old cough medicine, if you know what I mean.
yeah, oh yeah, right, yeah. So, we had a rainy weekend here in Florida. How about you guys, Dave?
We had some rain that canceled the biggest street stock race in the state of Ohio, and we had to get it rescheduled. But hey, 2 weeks in a row, I have had the Saturdays off. So you know what I did?
What'd you
Absolutely,
do?
positively nothing.
Good for you, Dave. Good for you. I played golf. I played golf on Friday. Got off work just a touch bit early. Played 18 holes. Beautiful golf course down here. Yeah, yeah. Uh, all right, quiet down over there. God, hey, you guys act like I don't play golf a lot, but just uh, got an eagle two, about 95 yards out, 75 yards out probably. That's when you hit the ball in the second shot, it flies in and goes in the hole. That was pretty cool. Then I played yesterday, and oh my God, the heat here just sucked the soul right out of my body. It was just unbearable. It was awful. But yeah, I don't want to hear about you guys being hot up there because our humidity is way different than your guys's, uh, than what your guys's is. Just want to go ahead, just bring some. What? What? Oh, crickets! Oh, Dave's got this new soundboard, everybody, and the sounds are really good, and he's got a lot of toys to play with. So bear with Dave here. He's going to be having a little bit of fun with us today here on the show. So we're going to go ahead.
See, that one's not me. That's the crowd that's watching. So, I mean,
Is that the crowd, Dave?
yeah, it's taped in front of a live studio audience.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet it is. Yeah, yeah, they all believe it. Yeah, yeah, they all believe it. I got turned down the volume so I can go ahead and see everything on here. What we got? We got what? 8 people watching. Wow, whopping 8 people. Well, I hope
We
we
got
guys.
about 17 on my end.
Okay, all right. Well, you know what? I hope everybody enjoys themselves and we're going to have a good time. The old. Koloka says, he goes, the old shake from 75 yards out ends up in the hole, huh? Yes, it did. And the bad thing is, I thought I overshot the hole because there's a mound right in front of the green. So when I seen it, I was like, oh man, it went off the green. As I pull up, I can't find my ball or anywhere. I go walking over there, and there it is in the cup. I'm like, oh my God, because a guy saw it from out further behind me. You're like, it went in the hole. I'm like, oh wait, no way it went in the hole. And they're like, yeah, it went in the hole. I put it on everything, Koloka. But so yeah, just want to go ahead. Well, let's bring up some sponsors here. I'd like to go ahead and thank Fisher Custom Printing. You are watching the Fisher Custom Printing Studios right here. Fisher Custom Fisher Custom Printing did this sign for me. They do a lot of other things. They do vinyl lettering for businesses. They also do cups, T-shirts, all that type of stuff that you have for marketing, anything for businesses that you guys might want to do. Go ahead and get a hold of Fisher Custom Printing. Their phone number is 440-371-8424. That's 440-371-8424. They also support a lot of race teams in the state of Ohio. They vinyl letter their race cars and just do T-shirts and all that type of stuff. Koozies, cups, you name it, they can do it. So go ahead and get a hold of Bethany and Clay. Tell them I sent you. Tell them you've seen us on the show, and they'll take good care of you. We also want to go ahead and thank Beauty by Storm. Go ahead and get on over there to her Instagram. Go ahead and follow her, like her, and go ahead and just let her know that you seen her name here on the show, and you guys are supporting her. You also got Smith's Drain Service out of Elyria, Ohio. They do all types of plumbing, drain repair, anything that you guys have with any type of drain service that you might need. They're based out of the Lorain County area in Ohio. Their phone number is 440-242-8704. That's 440-242-8704. Mikey always told me, he goes, if you mention the show's name, you're going to get 10% off. So yeah. So if you're in the Lorain County area, you got any drain issues, go ahead and get a hold of the boys. Mikey passed away last week, unfortunately. His sons have taken over the business, and good family, and hope you guys can go ahead and take care of them. Mikey was a big supporter of local racing around Northeast Ohio. Oh, Chris Myers is in from Port Orange, Florida. That's my boy right there. And then we got AJ Miller Racing. They came on board about a month ago or so, and they're helping us out. AJ Miller owns the 350 Super Modified, and I appreciate all you guys' help. Then we got Catalone Pizzeria. You'll never find a meatier calzone than at Catalone's.
I just want to know how meaty the pizza is.
Well, you go meet Zach Catalone. He'll be happy to show you how meaty it is. I can tell you that right now. Yeah, they're based out of Hannibal, New York. And then you got JC Woodworking. Let me tell you something. I know I might bust balls or whatnot. JC does beautiful, beautiful work, woodwork. Go over to his Facebook page. His name is Jason Carter. He's always posted beautiful, beautiful woodwork that he does over there. The guy, just help him out. He's telling you, this guy can make everything. Yeah, but nobody plays with their wood better than JC. I can tell you that right now. Take that for whatever it's worth. Hey, Kevin, how you doing? That's the old flying fireman right there, man. Hope you guys
Tony from TS Photography. Thanks for joining.
Thank you. Yep. So, yeah, thank you for tuning in, Tony. I appreciate you, brother. I've known you for well over 20 years now, brother. You've always been a good friend. I appreciate you coming in and helping out the show and watching. So you guys had rainouts. We had rainouts. There's rainouts everywhere all across the nation. They did get one race in this week, and luckily it was on a Thursday. They wound up going up to Seekonk, Massachusetts. They had a Thursday night Thunder race up there. The Smack 350 Supers ran up there.
Willie, real quick, I got some breaking news.
What's that?
Not your announcement, but I got some breaking news.
What's that?
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is our first time doing the podcast from the comforts of my own home. So we are in the Dynamite Studios.
Yeah.
We are here.
I'll clap it.
We promised to have all the graphics and everything and the song and all that ready to go for next week. So that's on my end. Don't blame Willie for that. Hang the messenger. So appreciate it, man. It was working pretty good here. I worked all week to get this all set up. So, and I forgot to do the other stuff, but just wanted to let people know that I'm at the comforts of my own home.
That's good. I'm at the comforts of my own home too. I know what that feels like because I can just walk. As soon as I hit off camera, I can just walk out there, sit on the couch, and discuss on how the show went. So yeah, trust me, I get it. The rain delay must still be going on the NASCAR race because I'm seeing our viewership go up right now. So I'm liking this. Either that or it's our guest that's coming on today because he is a shoe for sure.
Andy McCall's got a special gift or message for you.
Oh, okay. Andy McCall says, send me some pineapples, Willie. Yes, everybody. I don't know if you guys know this or not. You guys might not follow me on Facebook or not, but I grow pineapples down here in Florida. I'm based here out of Naples, Florida, if you guys don't know. I used to have, before Hurricane Ian hit, I had probably about over 20 pineapple plants that got wiped out by Hurricane Ian from the floods that came through my backyard. But now I only have 2 left, and they're growing beautifully, and I got 2 beautiful pineapples growing in right now. So it's a labor of love with me. I love pineapples. I never was able to grow them when I lived in Ohio. So I came down here, and I'm like, oh, you can grow pineapples down here? So yeah, I'm the pineapple man. So Andy, maybe if they're ripe, we'll have an announcement. So we got a major announcement coming up here at the end of the show. So you guys might want to hang on here. We'll go ahead and we'll talk about something. But Andy, if you're still on at the end of the show, we'll circle back around this pineapple thing.
Oh,
So
these people who are in here better not leave because this is huge.
Huge news. Yes, it is.
ESPN called me this week and told me that they wanted to feature this on ESPN. So
yes. Maybe I might get maybe there might be a 30 for 30 out of this one. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Everybody just calm down, and probably the last 10 minutes we'll go ahead and we'll tell you guys all the breaking news going on. But
I interrupted you. I'm sorry. You wanted to do your stuff. My bad.
It's okay. It's okay, Dave. So as I was saying, Smack 350 was at Seekonk, Massachusetts on Thursday night. They had a Thursday night Thunder there. Had a bunch of open wheel racing. They had the, like I said, the Smack 350 guys there. Finishing fifth was the NH07 of George Helwell. The fourth place was the F80 of Brad Babb. Third place was the number 50 of Matt Caprera. The second place was number 91 of Matt Seavey. And number 40 was Dave Helwell. And speaking of Dave Helwell, he's our guest tonight. So let's go ahead and bring Dave not in just yet. Let's just go ahead and just do a proper introduction here. Okay? So you got the 33-year-old driver. He's raced mini stock, street stocks, super late models. He drives the Mike Muldoon number 40. He's the current Smack 2024 points leader. Ladies and gentlemen, get your hands together for Dave Helwell. Look at him right there. You know what? That's a better studio than what we got right there, Dave. You got race cars, super modifieds behind you.
The difference is you guys got AC.
But you're up there in New Hampshire, though, so it can't be that hot up there.
Yeah, well, whatever you got going down there, it made its way up here because I tell you, it's about 90 degrees, 100% humidity, and it's about to start storming. So.
Oh, that's great. That's great. See, that's the nice thing about Florida race car shops. We all have AC in our shops down here.
Oh, yeah. You got to have the amenities.
Yeah. Even in our race car trailers, we got ACs. I used to work on race cars in Ohio. And when I moved down to Florida about 10 years ago and I started helping out teams down here, I'm like, why is everybody in the trailers for? It's so hot in there. They got AC in their trailers. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sure you guys, I know you guys don't have that. Yeah, no, you ain't lying. I am spoiled rotten. So I'll let you guys in behind the curtain a little bit. I talked to Dave, and I always do like a pre-show meeting with all the guests who's coming on here to get to know him. I really don't know a lot about Dave. And I want to learn a lot about him. This guy is just a hot shoe. I've talked to some friends up there in the Northeast, and they've said nothing but great things about him. And I'm glad to get him on the show because now the people from out west, the people in the Midwest, they're all going to know Dave Helwell, and we're going to get to all know him here today, folks. So, Dave, let's go back to the beginning. How long ago? When did you start racing?
So I started racing, I want to say it was maybe 1999. I was running bicycles, BMX. And the way it all started was on Sundays, we would race the bicycles on the dirt track. And it was on the infield of a quarter-mile go-kart track in Londonderry, New Hampshire. And we had a rain out. And however the schedule worked, when we were leaving with the bicycle racing, the older kids with the go-karts were coming in. And I remember, I was a big kid at 10, 11 years old. And I remember seeing these little kids come in with quarter midgets and champ carts and whatnot. And I remember becoming infatuated with those go-karts and thinking, man, how can I race? How can I do that? I mean, if those kids can do it, why can't I? So, and I had my father and my older brothers were racing, so it was up to me though. My dad wasn't the type to just hand over a ride to you and get you going. I actually worked with a close friend of mine for $4 an hour for an entire summer doing odd jobs so I could save up enough money to buy my own champ cart and get going racing. So it started in 2000, and it's crazy to think it's 24 years later.
Now you got a family of racers, I believe, don't you?
Yeah, there's a bunch of us. Which is I get, I have a twin brother who we actually don't look anything alike, and then I have.
I take it you're the better looking one, aren't you?
Oh, I don't know. They seem to fight me on that one. So, but I've got my twin brother. Obviously, he's only older by a minute, and then my brother George, who's 40, and then an older brother Wayne Jr., who's in his late 40s.
Okay. All right, then. So technically you're the baby of the family then.
I am. Technically,
yeah.
I am.
Yeah. The crowd likes that one. The crowd's like that one. So you started racing mini stocks. About how old were you when you started getting into mini stocks?
I was, the mini stock thing was like 2010. And
okay.
prior to that, I had taken a little break from racing, and it stuck me right back in. I remember getting a phone call. I had we were so involved with racing. I had a friend that called me and said, "Hey, listen, there's a guy down here at Hudson Speedway, and he needs a driver." And I borrowed my father's race suit, his helmet, and I jumped in the car, and we actually ended up winning the race. So I couldn't get out of that deal for quite some time because we were just having success with it. And then I ended up getting sucked right back into it, racing a dwarf car. And then in around 2010, I got into the mini stock division, or the road runners, they called it back in the day. And and just pretty much never looked back.
And then you just jumped into the street stock racing right after that?
Yeah. So I had about a year later, I had got my hands on a Camaro, a streeter, and I bought a roller, and my father had an engine sitting under the bench, and he was kindly enough to let me borrow it, and I went racing. And I didn't do a whole lot of street stock racing per se, but the little racing I did do, I got my feature win with it, had a bunch of podiums, and just enjoyed it, but I didn't feel like it was my thing. It wasn't my calling, being in fenders. And so I played with fenders for a little while longer until I got into the open wheel stuff. And, the open wheel game has just really been my niche, and I thoroughly enjoy it.
So how did you get into the open wheel game? Was it your ride? Did you put money together, or did you get called up for that one too?
No. So the way that whole worked out was, in 2015, I was driving a mod light, or a dwarf car, if you will, and was having good success with it. I was having fun with it. But I remember at one of the Lee Speedway races. I remember everybody knows the ISMA, like the Ollie Silva Classic at Lee Speedway, and I just remember being just honed in on those big blocks. The smell, the big tires, the power. I mean, when those things light off and take the green flag, it's an incredible feeling. I'm sure any fan knows that. Yeah. And but I was smart enough to know that that's definitely too much for me. The financial aspect, and I don't know if I was mature enough to run a car like that. So I remember later on seeing the 350 Supers, and my oldest brother Wayne, he had actually run 350 Supers, and I had watched him race a couple times, and he was pretty good in those cars too. And so it was in the winter of 15 that I had sold off all my dwarf car stuff, and my boss, who I was working with at the time, who was very supportive of my decision to go super modified racing.
Who was your boss? Who's your boss?
My boss at the time was a guy named Rick Silva, and he's now retired, but he actually came out of the woodwork, and he was at Seekonk Speedway Thursday night to come watch. And we actually used his two-stall garage and put a super modified together to go racing up at Lee Speedway,
Nice.
9 years ago. And there was a contingency on that to go racing. And I had said, I want to try it in the worst way, whether I'm good at it or I'm bad at it. And I really figured I was not going to be good at it because I knew nothing about these extreme offset cars. I didn't know anything about wings. You know, I was used to 4 cylinders, not these small block Chevys. And
Yeah.
and the deal was I was going to do 1 year, whether we do good or bad, and I was going to sell it, and I was going to move on with other things in life, like buying a house and start thinking about the future. And
Right.
it just led on to be probably one of the most entertaining race seasons I've ever had in my career. And we went on to win a bunch of races. We won the track championship.
Your first year, you won the track championship.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was definitely interesting how things played out. Teaches you a lot about discipline and you know, how to think big picture, because we ran into some hurdles. I won't get into politics, but we came back from almost like an 80-point deficit, and we came back to get the points lead and seal the deal and win the track championship. So,
oh my goodness! Oh
yeah.
man, that is that's
80
Yep.
points. 80 points is a big spot or deficit to come from behind. I mean, shit, kudos to you, man, and kudos to all your success. I'm sitting here listening while you guys are talking, man. It seems like everything you jumped into, you've put in victory lane.
Yeah. Well, hey, you know, my brother says there's an expression: every squirrel gets a nut. But
Looks like you got a few of them.
I knock on wood. I've been very lucky in this whole racing thing, and I've driven for some really good car owners. You know, had a lot of success locally around here with our home tracks. It's been good. It's been a good run so far.
Well, I tell you what, they say that every squirrel finds a nut. Well, brother, you're stocked up for the winter. I can tell you that right now. So I've been following your career here for the last couple of years, and you're on to something, man. Here,
Andy McCall says it could be the lucky acorn.
Oh, that's another story. That's another story for another day. I'll get into that story here at the end, Dave. So speaking of acorns, but so you got into your own deal. Obviously, you had great success. Did you take any time off? Did you take a break? Was there come a time where it's like, okay, I got to start racing. I got to start becoming a big boy. I got to buy the house and have the wife and have the kids and all that stuff?
Yeah. So I'll try not to make a long story longer, but at the end of 16, I was actually, during the 16 race season, I was racing against the Wickhams.
Yes.
And in particular, Bob and Ed Wickham, those two guys are, between the two of them, they have 100 years of experience racing big block supers. And I would actually joke with those guys, because I knew at the end of the year, I was done. I was going to sell out and I was going to go on and do other things. And I would walk into their trailer and would say, you know, I'd go up to Bob and ask him, hey, Bob, you got a pen? And, you know, he'd go run into the toolbox, get me a pen. And I'd say, all right, because I'm looking to sign that contract so I can drive for you guys next year. And, you know, and it was just an ongoing joke. But later towards the season, they, you know, they had a couple guys driving for them, and it didn't work out. And there was an opening. And right at about the time where I sold out, the race season was over, and there was only a couple races left. I think there was one race at Star Speedway and an open show over at Lee Speedway. And they called me last minute and said, you know, hey, we'll give you a shot. We'll put you in the car and, you know, go give it a try. And I think our first outing, I don't know if, you know, people back at home have stats on this, but I'm pretty sure we won the first race we got into. And then we just started winning. You know, we just had good races, good luck, well-prepared race cars. And we went on to, I think we won four or five track championships together. And then we ended up parting ways. And, you know, our parting ways was very amicable. I think they were sad that I left, but I had to make decisions in my life, you know, to, like you said, to become a big boy and make time for other things. And you know, right. And truth be told, I think I may have made a mistake, you know, because I did go on to do the house thing. But then when you know, time slowed down a little bit, I started missing racing again. So I actually returned in 20 with my own car. and raced over at Star Speedway and went for a track championship over there too. So
okay, so here comes the meat and potatoes question. I know we talked about this on the phone. When did Mike Muldoon give you a call?
Oh, so that would have been the midsummer of 22. And you know, another part of that story is in after 2021, I had driven a car for John Burke up north at Riverside Speedway. And again, you know, won a bunch of races, got a championship out of that. I can't thank John enough, you know, for helping me, give me that chance, give me that opportunity, get my name out there. And he was doing this in between running, you know, the 350 Smack Series too. So, you know, it's just a lot of efforts by everyone. But going into year 22, I wanted to take a break and, you know, not get, you know, not quit racing, but I wanted to take a break from driving. And I still owned a car, and my brother Billy was driving the car, and we were doing a little bit of Smack tour racing, and we were racing up at Riverside at the time. And I was able to get him one of his first feature wins up there, and he won a track championship. And so I was concentrated on that. And Mike had a few drivers in his car, and there was an opening for the Seekonk, the Modified Madness show that we actually just got done with this past Thursday night.
Right.
And he had called me, and I'm not sure he got my phone number. I think John Burke may have played a role in giving up my phone number and getting us in touch with each other. But yeah, so I thought this whole, you know, agreement was just a one race deal. You know, maybe try to get the cars to, you know, turn a little better, leave the corner a little harder, and see what we can do. And then go figure, race one, we threw everything but the kitchen sink at the car, and we ended up actually winning the race that night. And now I can't get rid of the guy.
Go figure, right?
Yeah. So,
man, I am just floored by this. I mean, hearing all this, I'm sure a lot of guys in the Midwest and out west, I mean, we heard of you, but man, we did not know all of this about you. And I'm so glad I got you on the show. I'm just thoroughly just impressed with this resume that you got going on here. This is you've won what, twice this year so far?
Yes, yeah. I won the season opener in Williamstown, New York, at Spencer Speedway.
Yep.
And then and then we just won Thursday night at Seekonk.
Yeah. Let's talk about that Spencer race. If I recall correctly, there was a nice little battle going on there with a family member towards the end, and you kind of just pulled away from him on that one. Yeah.
My older brother George, he's in his own 07 car, and him and my father own that one. And a couple seasons ago, we had taken that chassis. It was actually an older Muldoon chassis from I want to say it was either late 90s, early 2000s. And we rehabbed it, accommodated my brother for it, and he struggled a little bit year one, but you know, now they've really got a good handle on that car. And actually, going into that whole Spencer race, I had figured that it was either probably going to come down to my brother, Scott Watts, or Muldoon's kid, you know, because they were going good, you know, and
right.
And we did, yeah. George broke out to a good lead, and I was able to reel him in, and I got to his outside, and he was still fighting the car though. I mean, he was he knows where the gas pedal is, and he don't give up, but the car was very darty down the straightaways. This place, that Spencer Speedway, makes a lot of speed, you know? And, you know, the car is under a tremendous load with those wings, and he was very darty, and he got a little out of shape, and that kind of ended our little battle up front. So
I compare Spencer to a flatter Sandusky Speedway. I don't know if you've ever been out to Sandusky or not, but it's a flat Sandusky.
Yeah, that's I mean, I've watched a million videos of that place, like the high miler that you're going to flag at.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. It's just got a lot of speed, a lot of straightaway, and flat flat turns, so you gotta have a ton of drive leaving the corner so you can get down that long straightaway, and you got to be able to turn getting in.
Yeah, you New Englanders, man, you guys love Sandusky Speedway. You guys have came down there plenty of times and waxed our asses plenty of times. So yeah, all the way back from Russ Wood to Bobby Fitzpatrick to Chris Purley and Scotty Martell, all those guys, man, and good people. Yep, good people. Yeah, and I love the Martells, man. Love that family. So. Points leader, are we not caring about the points? Are we gonna let's just go out there and get checker flags wherever the points in at the end of the year?
Yeah,
that's where they like.
Yeah. The whole points thing kind of, that does its own thing. I mean, it's always on your mind. Think big picture racing.
Right.
But I've talked to Muldoon about this a million times. And because I've asked him, I'm like, hey, what do you want me to do? If it comes down to me and your son, and we're in both the house cars. You want me to run them hard, or you want me to just get in line? What do you want me to do? And
what's the orders? What's the orders going on here, Mike?
and he says, you never know when your next win is. He goes, give it hell. And that's how I raced Junior out at Spencer, because he took the lead from me. He got underneath me, and then I kind of just rode, and I was really praying for a caution, and because I knew I could really get a good run firing off on the outside. And that's what did happen. We had a late race caution, and I was able to get back by him, and we took the win. So I race, as hard as I can every race. Everybody's got to earn it, right? And just because it's my teammate doesn't mean I'm going to lay down, So he gave me one for my money.
So let's get back to George here. They had a race the next day at Lancaster. And he won that money, didn't he?
Yeah. This is a sore subject you're bringing up.
It stayed in the family, but I'm sure he would rather take that $10,000 paycheck than what I think it was $2,000 to win at Spencer.
Yeah, it was 3,000.
3,000. I'm sorry. Yeah, 3,000. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it was $10,000 to win the following night, which is, $10,000 to win a 350 Super race is like. Mind-boggling. I don't know. Kudos to John Burke and James Roussaw and everybody, Lancaster that helped put that whole deal together. Because I really don't know if we're going to see another high-paying show like that. That was, in its entirety, a big block person, then some. So
right. Yes.
But it is what it is. I kicked myself in the foot because the way our handicap system works with the Smack Tour is the previous race winner can't start any better than 12th place going into the following race.
No.
And like I was telling my guys, I'm like, there's a half a dozen cars at least in our series that can win it any given night, and we're starting 12th. So. Right. And it's getting harder and harder to pass guys. So I knew it was going to be tough. And, George was just on that night. And I was closing in on him. I got to his right rear, I think coming to the check-in in 3 and 4. But he just had better drive leaving the corner. And that's what won him the race.
Is that your first time at Lancaster?
No, my first time at Lancaster was last year. There was a Money in the Bank.
Yep.
Yeah, there was a Money in the Bank race last year, and we actually won it starting from 12. So we had a really good notebook going into the show, but we just got outrun by George. I'm glad that, if anybody's going to beat me,
it's my book, my brother. Yeah. So what's it like coming off of 4 at Lancaster, going across the drag strip and then turning off the drag strip back into the corners?
Yeah, it's definitely you can use it to your advantage, whether your car is carrying a push center off to 4 till you get to the drag strip and the car just locks all 4. There's so much traction up there. But it can also bite you because if you're loose and say you're flat footing it and you're coming off a turn 4 in a 4-wheel drift, when you catch that drag strip where there's a tremendous amount of traction, it can almost toss you the wrong way. So,
really?
It's definitely it's funky, but that track is if anybody was there watching the race, or people had seen it on YouTube, it creates 2-lane racing. And actually, Scott Watts Sr. and I had a really good battle where I was stuck on the outside of him for a few laps there, and you can just pick your lane and run, and you can't shake the guy, So there's some tracks that are, everybody's a bottom feeder, and the top side don't work, but Lancaster has a 2-groove speedway, and I think it put on for some awesome racing.
That's great. Hey, Dave, I'm sure you don't understand. I don't know if you know about Lancaster Speedway, but they use the front straightaway as part of the drag strip. So yep. The starting line is way back off of back there behind turn 1, and they'll probably come out about, 50 yards, and then it'll go onto the front straightaway of the racetrack, and then it extends past turn 4 all the way out to where the pit area is at, and that's the cool down. That's the shutdown lane there. So I remember going to Lancaster when I was on the ISMA race circuit during the 90s and early 2000s, and I always passed it up going from Ohio to Oswego. My dad's like, Super Modifieds race there. So I'd always look outside the window and stuff as I'm driving past going to Oswego from Ohio, and always see Lancaster. And I finally got to go there. And that track was just wild. It was just crazy track, but it looks like it's very sweepy as a driver. Looks like it's a fun track to drive.
Yeah, it is. It was a pleasure to race there. I hope, going into 25, they let us come back and do it again, because I think, with even larger car count and some of the other talented guys out there, I mean, there's no reason why somebody else can't win that race besides myself or my brother, or one of some of the guys from the mid-states, Ohio area. It's just it's a really cool setup. I like that track.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys keep winning there, I think they're just going to start naming it after you, after your family.
Oh.
So we talked about points and what's going on with that. Any aspirations of big block racing? Has anybody been calling you? Anybody been talking to you? You guys plan on going to Oswego to go ahead and come run there? Like, guys going to come down to Ohio for High Miler? I know they're only racing on a Friday, but I know that's a haul for you coming from New Hampshire.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the end game is to, maybe one day, move up from the 350 division and get into, running a big block full time. But that 350 deal in itself is a tremendous deal. I mean, I own the car that's in the background. We race this thing at every show we can, and I mean, we're a contract driver getting $1,000 just to take the green flag. I mean, and it's tough to find that in other series, whether outside of super modifieds, because we do race stock car stuff, and this is just such a good deal.
Right.
And the big blocks are, who doesn't love big block super modifieds, but it's just extremely expensive. The engine, the attrition rate, the cars always need, a 55-gallon drum of methanol. It needs 4 tires. It's not cheap, so,
nope.
So it's very economical to run a 350 Super with a built engine, because I mean, you can not cut corners, but you can save costs doing your own thing. Whereas with the big blocks, unfortunately, half the car is motor. Half of it's, I mean, handling's important, but especially when you get on these half-mile speedways with the big block supers, you really need a really good engine. You need a good fuel injection. It's a tough deal, man. That's a tough deal. You got a lot of talent there, but to get back to your question, where I'd like to go and where this thing's heading, and if anybody's giving me a shot at it, Mike Muldoon's the only guy. Mike Muldoon's the only guy who gave me an opportunity to run his big block, and he built a brand new big block car over the winter to accommodate me. And we a few weeks ago at that I think it was the June 1st race at Oswego. That was my first time in a big block in that car at Oswego, and I think I did about 5 practice laps on old tires and pulled it in and said, I think we got something, you know? And I'm still new to it. I'm still naive to what the car needs and how to get around that place. But we ended up putting 4 tires on it, going to the heat race, and we won our heat race. And then we had a good chip pull for the redraw. We started 4th, and taking the green flag, the car decided to do other things, and it ended our night. So the car's been put away, it's been fixed, but we're committed to running July 12th and 13th at Berlin for that doubleheader out there.
Really?
Yep.
That's huge. I've seen that, but just wasn't confirmed on that. But that is really great news that you're going to go out there. Have you seen that track on TV yet?
I have. Yeah, I've done a lot of YouTube research per se,
Yeah.
Onboard cameras, watching. I know Rolo Vision. He's always out there live casting the racing, and I tell you, it looks pretty fast. But I'm not afraid of speed. I'm not afraid of it. I actually feel very comfortable in that car going fast. It's very stable. I think it's just a matter of how good the car cuts, and will it run for 40, 50 laps and maintain speed. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I'd love, in the worst way, to get an ISMA win and make all these 350 guys back at home happy, and maybe give them hope that they can do the same thing too. I mean, these 350 smack cars, they're not far off a big block, in even terms of speed. Not so much at the big tracks like half miles and 5/8, but on the smaller tracks, I mean, we're literally running comparable times. I mean, a top 5 guy in smack, his lap times, he can be probably a top 10 car in ISMA with 20 laps to go. So they're very fast. They're right there. The big blocks just have a tremendous amount of power, and you got a lot of rubber behind you, but the fall off rate is so fast with those cars. They're all tire, and when the tire falls off of it and you lose that fuel load, they burn off a lot of speed. Whereas those 350 cars, you're only taking the green flag with 10 gallons per se, and the tires, you can just pound on them for all 50 laps. So it's a good stepping stone. I really enjoyed driving both cars.
Just make sure you get that left front down there on the apron coming off of 4.
Yeah, I see that. I took notice to that. Yeah, you almost got to get like you're gonna hit the inside pit row wall.
Yes, absolutely. They just paved that about, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. Now there's guys getting their whole complete cars underneath there now. So just know you'll see it. You can do it. So I know I have all the faith in the world that you will. But I'll be watching either through Flow or Rolo Vision or whatever. But I'll be watching. I'll be paying attention. And you definitely gained a fan down here in Florida. And I've been around supers all my life. And I reached out to you this morning, and then I'm like, oh man, what I'm going to do? I got to find a guest. And then he finally got back to me, and I'm like, yes, he wants to do it. So yeah, I do appreciate that, man. And I will be following you. I'll definitely be watching what you got going on, man. You got my attention. That's for damn sure. I just want to go ahead and say I am 100% a full believer of this 350 deal. About 3 or 4 years ago, first thing I said was 350s are going to kill the big blocks. They're going to kill the big blocks. It's not going to be any more big blocks. But you know what? I tell you what, man, I am 100% on board when it comes to these 350s. I just believe in them, just for the exact reasons you said. It's more affordable, and that's where it needs to be. I believe if you have affordability, you're going to be able to gain in more drivers, more race teams, and it's going to grow. I'm seeing it grow in Ohio. I'm seeing it grow in the Northeast. It's not growing so much in Oswego. We all got to get on one single rule. And that's what I agree. That way that the Midwest guys can go up to you guys can come down to us. Chris Mize has notified me that the high miler for the 350s is on Saturday. So be sure to talk to Mike and see if we can get Mike to come on down here and have you race high mile. Maybe you'll bring both cars, the 350 and the big block for high miler.
Yeah. Hey, the trailer can accommodate too, so I might have to do some convincing.
There you go. There you go, buddy. Well, I just want to go ahead and say thank you so much. I appreciate you, Dave, for coming on to the show. I've learned so much. I hope all my viewers have learned a lot. And I look forward to watching you on TV, and stay in touch, buddy, and take care.
Yeah, I'm glad. Like I said, I like what you guys do. I've been kind of flying under the radar with social media. But yeah, when you had reached out, I wanted to be a part of this. It was either this or do the Joe Rogan podcast, but you guys were very accommodating.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah. And see that you won all those track championships. Now Joe Rogan wants you now. So yeah. Go ahead. So take care, Dave. I appreciate you coming on, buddy.
Awesome. All right. We'll see you. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Yep. I tell you what, man, that was probably one of the most informative interviews I've ever had in my life. I mean, I knew the guy was good, but good Lord, man, this guy's won everything under the freaking sun. Like, he is really, really awesome. That is great. So he had brought up acorns. All right. I hope Andy McCall's still watching this. And I hope he's listening to this. But the acorns, back in the day, I think it was like 04 or something like that. I was running for the championship at Lorain County Speedway. And a good friend of mine, Brian McCall, Andy's nephew, he was, all of a sudden his car just got slow. We couldn't understand why it got slow. And I get a phone call from Ryan Smith. You know Ryan Smith, Dave. And he's like, we know why. Andy is listening. He goes, we know why Brian's car was slow. I go, why was it slow for? He goes, there was an acorn stuck underneath his gas pedal and he couldn't get it out. So I'm thinking to myself, like, what the hell? So I call up Andy McCall and I'm like, what the hell shit are you guys feeding Ryan about the acorn? He goes, he called you, didn't he? I said, yeah, he called me. Me and Andy just laughed our asses off. I called back around, like, you idiot. There's no damn acorn underneath the damn gas pedal. He goes, oh, were they messing with me? I said, yeah, they were messing with you, you gullible frick. So yeah, so he's yeah, so that's my acorn story, but that's really good. I forgot to say it with Dave on here, but yeah, but I've heard some great stories about Dave.
Here to this day with Andy, whenever they're in victory lane and joking around, they always talk about the acorn.
Yeah, well, now you know the story. But I'm glad I got to catch up with Dave. I learned so much about him, man. I am seriously, truly 100% a fan of that guy, and I'll always be rooting for him. That's for sure. So Dave kind of let the cat out the bag talking about it during his interview, but Dave had talked about this whole ESPN thing and stuff like that, and we're just joking, folks. We're just joking. But me and Chris Mize have been from Sandusky Speedway, promoter extraordinaire, race director, the man, the myth, the legend, Chris Mize. He knows that that's right. He deserves an applause. I had flagged Sandusky Speedway's high miler. I want to say it was 2021. And I had said that would be my last high miler, and I knew it wouldn't be. I thought it might have been, but I don't know. That track just keeps sucking me back in, you know. And Chris, I talked to Chris a lot. He's a good friend. Ever since I moved to Florida, I would not be surprised if I didn't talk to Chris at least once a week or at least 3 times a month. And Chris and I were talking back in February, and we're talking in March, and we're talking in April, and we're talking in May, and then we're talking in June. And long story short, I'm coming home. I'm coming home to flag the high miler, just the super modifieds. Yeah. Yep. So I'm coming home. I'm coming to flag the super modifieds on Friday and Saturday. My plane lands around 3 o'clock. I got to go from Cleveland to Sandusky, and I got about an hour to get there before Hot Lap starts. So I told Chris, he said, yeah, that's fine. You know, just get your ass here. So I got to get off the plane. Hopefully it's not delayed. Get my rental car, jump in that thing, and run on out to Sandusky. I'll probably be changing in the car. I don't know. I might just get on the plane, wear my flagman's uniform. But yeah, folks, I know Highmiler. I am not scared. I know Highmiler's a little whiles away, and I know a lot of people look. I also flag 2020 and 2021. Yeah, but I know a lot of people are happy, and some people might not even give a shit, whatever, whatnot. But Sandusky Speedway will always be my home. The Jay Cox family will always be family to me, always. And Chris Mize is like one of the nicest guys, and he's like a brother to me now. Honestly, just no matter what issues I got going on in life or whatever, whatnot, I've talked with Chris about a lot of things, not just all racing, but personally. And whenever Chris calls and says, "Hey, look, we need you," I'm going to take that to the heart and know that he needs me. So, Chris, I'm doing this, for you. I'm doing it for the people of Sandusky Speedway. I'm doing it for the super modified fans. So get ready, folks. We're going to start twirling some flags. We'll start pointing. And, we're going to start handing off checker flags again. So drivers, if you're watching, remember, you win that heat race. I'm coming off the flag stand. I'm going to hand you the checkered flag if you win it, and you can drag the rag. Not many tracks, if any tracks, do it anymore. But I want to keep that tradition alive at Sandusky Speedway. It was a tradition that Chris just said we never retire. No, we try, but we always keep getting sucked back in. Kevin sucks you back in, and you suck me back in, Chris. So, but yeah, so that's just how that goes. But no, so we're going to try to bring back that tradition. We're going to hand off the flags. And so I know a lot of drivers like, oh, put laps on the tires. When you guys can understand, it entertains the fans. And that's what you need. All right. You need that. That one extra lap is not going to go ahead and kill your tires if you're just going at a pace lap. It's like no different than saying that caution lap, killed your tires. I don't want to hear that mess. So I'll bring it up in the driver's meeting. You guys want to do it? Do it. If you don't. Okay, good. But I would prefer it if you guys did. But with that being said, just want to say, that was a great interview with Dave. I talked with some people up in the Northeast. Let's see here. Glenn Merckx told me to call him Hollywood. I didn't call him Hollywood, but he was my inside source, and so was Joey. Joey just said he just comes in, wins, and leaves. So just good people, good friends of mine. I don't know who we're going to get on as a guest next week, but we'll figure it out. We'll go from there. I got a long list of friends, and we'll go ahead and see if I can call them up. I just made a new friend today, and just want to go ahead and thank Atkins Glass for that interview segment right there. I will also be staying at Atkins Glass House come Highmiler. So thank you guys very much for taking care of me and bringing me in. That's great. I appreciate it. Dave, anything you got to say?
No, just go support local track racing. Go support the Highmiler. Go see Willie up on the flag stand and return back to Sandusky Speedway and do what he likes to do. And glad to have you back for that race, Willie. I know how much that means to you, and your family and your dad would be proud of you.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy, you're hitting at the heartstrings when you bring up Pops. But yeah, Dad loved that track. He's camped out there for years. A lot of people either watching this or know me, they've seen me run around that track ever since I was knee high to a grasshopper. So yeah, damn it, Dave, you had to bring in Dad. But yeah, that's good. That's cool. I appreciate it. But I just want to go ahead and go off and say this. 350s, you guys all got to get together. And Oswego, Smack, Star, Lee, this track, that track, the Ohio 350 series, you guys all got to get together. And you guys got to all come up with one unified rule across the board. Get your wing game right, get your motor game right, get your shot game right, because I'm telling you guys right now, you guys are sitting on a gold mine, and you guys are kicking yourselves in the balls every year. Get together, unify yourselves, so we can go and have a Highmiler that can have 40 super modifieds. We can have a classic that can have 40 or 50 super modifieds. We can have a star classic that can have 40 or 60 super modifieds. We can have this in the 350 division. You guys don't understand that these guys want to come race your track. I know there's an Ohio guy that wanted to go over to Oswego this past weekend and race his car and was told maybe, and still doesn't even know to this day if he could or not. I know for a fact, all right? I know for a fact. I will never give up my sources, folks. You guys can call me and tell me all your dirty laundry, and I'll tell it here on the show. I promise you I'll tell it here on the show, but I will never tell your name. I promise you that right now. They can go ahead and pull my toenails out with pliers. I don't care. I grew up in a rough neighborhood. You never snitch, all right? So just understand this. I know that they all need to get together on either same tire rule, same wing rule, same motor rule, same all that. Leave the egos at the door. Absolutely. Chris Myers just said, leave the egos at the door. Absolutely. Because you guys are sitting on a gold mine right now. I'm telling you guys this right now. You just heard Dave right here just go ahead and talk about it. It's cheap and affordable. And if they start seeing all these cars, you're going to start seeing other guys going to want to get into this too. So just be smart. Think about this, and I'll just leave you guys at that. Just know I want to appreciate all you guys for coming on here and watching. I stress out about this show. I've kicked myself in the pants. Like, should I keep doing it? Should I not keep doing it? You know, is it worth my time? Is it even worth your time? You know, and is it worth Dave's time? And Dave, he does a lot of hard work. He does a lot of behind the scenes things that you guys don't know. And I do know, and I appreciate Dave for all that he does. And I might not tell him in person, but I'll tell him here on the show, and I'll tell him every week. I appreciate everything he does. Dave had to go get his car worked on, had to run back home, had to do this, had to do that, just so he can go ahead and bring this show to you guys. So I just want to go ahead and say thank you very much, and God bless. Take care. And for all my Ohio friends and family, and for all my New York friends and family that are coming to High Miler, I will see you soon. And I can't wait to have a beer with all you guys. And on that note, I'm going to tip the bellboy. I'm checking out. And Dave, let's take it home.
All right.